Hello, happy new week. Another day, another drama. And it's, flaming June, and again the sun is nowhere to be seen. That was funny, I've got a cricket thing behind me. But another day where you can't see the sun whatsoever in midsummer. Anyway, today's discombobulation is around the fat jabs. I've talked about this before, but our lovely Wes Streeting and our National Health Service are now going full steam ahead pushing these things, and they are full steam ahead on the NHS for people to demand that they're prescribed, costing the NHS us a great fortune. And these things still carry a lot of risk, since most of the repercussions are unknown. It'll say on the leaflet that it's still in kind of trial-ish mode. But we do know that they've killed over 100 people so far in the UK. In the relatively small doses that have been given so far. And alongside things like pancreatitis and birth, fertility problems, they carry a multitude of serious side effects. The NHS, to me, is increasingly anti-health and just more and more like a drug pusher. Easy fix, although that easy fix often means you end up being worse off than you were to begin with. These things, as I've said before, should be only a final kind of last resort for people who are morbidly obese and cannot do fitness, cannot go for gastric band surgery because they're so big. They should be used in only those circumstances to get them down to a weight where they can then go to the GP, they can then go for a walk, etc. It really depresses me, the kind of attitude now in this country in particular. Nah, I don't want to work, I'll have benefits. I'm stressed, I'm a bit anxious, I'm not going to work today, I'm going to call in sick. I'm really overweight and I can't manage my food intake and I'm too lazy to work out. So I want a fat jab that can cause me enormous amount of problems, but that's what I want. It's always the easy, lazy fixes. Don't get me wrong, it has a place, this drug, because I know somebody who developed type 1 diabetes after her COVID jab. And really suffered, and she was getting to the point where the doctors were saying, we literally can't give you any more insulin and we don't believe you're living a healthy lifestyle because your stats are just not showing that. And she had to do a food intake diary, and it proved that she was really cutting her dietary intake with still no effects on weight, everything else. And so they put her on this drug, and it's had a really rapid response in terms of bringing down her insulin levels, really helping her diabetes, and she's lost 2 stone in a relatively short period of time. And this is what the drug was originally designed for. So it does have its place, but not as a mass marketed approach to losing weight, which is generally a very easy thing to do. Don't get me wrong, I carry a few more pounds that I should, but that's, it's just a little bit, it's my age, it's being a woman, and the fact that I like cream in my coffee and the odd ice cream. But life's short, so I'm always of the inkling that a little bit of what you fancy does you good. But in general, eat less, move more, you'll lose weight. Not too tricky. Build more muscle, eat more protein, balanced life. It's not difficult. Calorie in, calorie out, have a deficit, blah de blah. But people are just increasingly lazy, and they don't care, or they don't do their due diligence to see what the effects of this drug could be. Just like with COVID. Yeah, sleeve up, jab me with this new novel vaccine that I've no idea about. Yeah, put it in my body that I'll never be able to remove. I know it's only been tested for 8 weeks, but hey, it's all good. You know, people are just really lazy and really thick. And then that goes on to the NHS and Wes Streeting. Like, where is their due diligence? Where is their risk analysis? You know, the kind of, what are the benefits of not doing this versus doing it? How has this saved the NHS any money when people have died and there's an enormous amount of repercussions from said jab? So those people will then have to go to the GP and the hospital, and they're now going to have people ramming the GP phone lines and taking up all the appointments to try and go on this fat jab, which they don't generally need, and they could just lose weight themselves for free and not bother their GP if they just took personal responsibility. It's a big thing, personal responsibility. I don't understand, you know, the amount of people that they just don't do their due diligence and look into what they want to put into their bodies. And I'm losing more and more faith in our NHS system because, like I said, with COVID, the amount of people I'd speak to who were GPs, their knowledge around COVID itself, and particularly the vaccine, was so woeful. It was shocking, really depressingly so. But they were pushing those jabs left, right and centre. And here we are again with the fat jabs. Will people ever learn? Will people ever stop to just think, maybe I can do this the natural way? And will we ever have an NHS that is truly scientifically driven again, and who really do their due diligence in doing first no harm and looking at the easier, healthier, more natural options? I know a lot of people have lost faith in the NHS, and I'm one of them, and it's a real sad place to be. But yeah, I have a lot of concerns around this fat jab, a lot, and I just hope people put a little bit more effort into their own health.